To my mother-in-law, she thinks that I'm just a real estate agent who can't get any sales because I work less, and she sees me all the time, trying to bond with her. Recently, I got her to talk to me about houses because we were talking about my job. She mentioned this house that she calls her dream house, and mentioned how she tried buying it once, but couldn't because it was too expensive. I recognized the street and the house she was referring to because it was part of the houses that I had developed a couple of years ago. During the conversation, she asked me how I was going to support her daughter. She told me that she sees me more than her daughter and asked if I'm even working. I told her that I'm doing well with my job and that I can definitely prove that I can support her daughter. She looked at me and told me that she was just going to be honest, and told me that she believes I should let her daughter go. She told me that I was a good man, but I just wasn't the best fit for her daughter. I just imagined my daughter dating someone else, she said. I looked at her and said, like who? That's when I found out that she had a friend who owned a clothing store that had a son, and I guess they both made a promise to try to play matchmaker, and her husband approved of it because that meant their daughter would get married and join the business. My heart sank. I spent the last couple of months trying to get this woman to like me, but it felt like nothing was working. I told her that I wasn't going to leave her daughter, and that I would treat her daughter way better than her friend's son could. She laughed while she continued going back to work, and told me that her daughter makes more than me, and that her friend's son could triple both of our incomes combined. I looked at her and asked her how she would know if her daughter was making more than me. She told me that it doesn't take a genius to tell that a lawyer will make more than a real estate agent. I didn't want to argue with her anymore, so I told her that I had to go and pretended that I had somewhere to go that day. I ended up contacting the owner and tried acquiring the house. The owner wasn't interested in selling their house at first, but everything always has a price when it's right. The owner was a hard person to negotiate with, and I'm sure I lost the deal, but I honestly didn't care much. Throughout the past 3-4 months, I've had to deal with paperwork, inspection, and the whole process of buying the house. I stopped visiting my in-laws and stayed in contact with my father-in-law. I would usually call him and check up on him, and he would always tell me to come visit. He asked me if my mother-in-law was the reason why I stopped coming, and I laughed and told him that I was just working more. During this time, my mother-in-law has tried hinting to my wife about her friend's son, and my wife always shut down the idea, and always told her that she's married, and to respect that. Now you can see the second part by pressing share and more.